One of the first things President Obama will do now that he's back is push his economic agenda, which includes getting Wall Street back on track. Early show national correspondent Jeff Glor is at the New York Stock Exchange with more on that. Good morning, Jeff.
Harry, good morning to you. The Dow lost 186 points on Tuesday, and after wrapping up the worst first quarter in 70 years, the first earnings reports are starting to trickle in.
As Wall Street braces for rough earnings reports, they got their first taste with aluminum giant Alcoa, which lost $497 million in the first quarter, a stark reminder of a recession that has erased $50 trillion in global wealth.
I think the market wants to be upbeat, but unfortunately there's still a lot of bad news out there.
Bank earnings are weighing heavily on the minds of investors. Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, and J.P. Morgan Chase report their earnings after the holiday weekend. And with billions of so-called toxic assets still in the bank's balance sheets, there are bound to be more fluctuations, like the Dow's 20% run-up in March.
I think it's inevitable that as you get to a turning point, you're going to see the numbers move up, move down, move up, move down. That's just in the nature of the beast.
And if you think investors will be watching bank earnings closely, there's also that stress testing, the test the government is doing on banks to see if they're healthy and viable. Results will start coming out at the end of April here. Harry?
Jeff Glor at the Stock Exchange this morning. Thank you. Joining us now is Michael Santoli, Associate Editor of Barron's. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Everybody has been buoyed by this sort of rumbling in the stock market over the last, couple of weeks, moving up toward 8,000, and now it takes a couple of steps back down again.
Right.
Where is this market? Is there a light at the end of the tunnel? Is this springtime on Wall Street, or do we have more weeks of winter?
We have a very volatile period. What the market is struggling with is looking for these early signs that the economy is stabilizing, that the rate of decline in employment and business activity is coming to a close. And there are only equivocal signs that that's the case, but nobody wants to miss that indication that, in fact, we might be in the clear because the market itself anticipates that.
And the other problem is there's such a giant cycle about optimism. People do this culling in their businesses and lay people off. A lot of that lags behind what are some of the indicators that say maybe things are ready to take off.
Without a doubt. Employment will not come back until after the economy is actually growing again on a statistical basis and after the stock market does. That's what happens after recessions. Businesses are late to fire and late to hire.
Yeah. But we've heard all of this thing. There's all this TALF money out there, all this TARP money. There was this sense that maybe finally the credit markets were going to loosen up and thaw up. Is any of that really happening, or is this just a little glimmer?
In pockets, it's happening. Mortgage rates have been anchored at very low levels because of the Federal Reserve's efforts. We have had parts of the credit markets improve. Big companies are able to offer debt and get credit. But we haven't seen it across the board. I think we should remind everybody, it's been 6 months that the Federal Reserve and the government's been throwing money into the system. That's about the lag period before you see any traction. So we've had many, many announcements, many, many plans and policies. We don't yet know which of them are going to work.
Yeah, and you see that Lloyd Blankfein from Goldman Sachs yesterday said, maybe we really ought to look at executive compensation here. Is that a way to say, we'll take care of our own business, government, please stay out of it?
They certainly hope that's the way it would go, but I also think there's an acknowledgement that the compensation system on Wall Street was broken, it was excessive, and I do think that because of events beyond what the government wants, it's going to change.
Michael Santoli, always a pleasure. Thanks so much.